Before I get to everything else that has been much discussed today, there are some stories that have slipped through the cracks, and I bet you didn't hear about these on the 6pm news. Australians were very generous and gave hundreds of millions of dollars to bushfire relief charities at the height of the fires that destroyed this summer and so many lives. Today we learn that, believe it or not, 3 major charities still have half of the money sitting in the bank. This was reporting done by the ABC, and we repeat it here. $216 million was donated to the Red Cross, $111 million has been spent. That's a whole lot left over. The Salvation Army, $43 million came in, but only $22 million has gone out. The St Vincent de Paul, $22.9 million donated, but just $13 million spent. Put together, the money's left over by the Red Cross, Salvation Army and St Vinny's. $135 million is still in the bank. This is despite the fact that people still in bushfire-ravaged parts of New South Wales and country Victoria are still living in caravans like this. No temporary accommodation, nowhere else to stay. Instead, they're staying in accommodation like this, months on. $135 million still in the bank. What's the excuse that is being given by these charities? Well, they say that the pandemic stopped charities from travelling to do outreach for months, and they haven't been able to go and find people who might be in need but haven't asked for help. Rubbish. Does anyone believe that these charities don't have the names of hundreds, nay, thousands of people who were affected by the bushfires? They were able to collect it in February and in March before things started to turn ugly in April and May. Now, what you're seeing here is an ugly side of the charity business model. Now, Australians are very generous. People who work for charities are, generally speaking, pretty decent. But many of the people at the absolute tippy top of these organisations use big moments like bushfires to raise huge pots of money that you think are going to that cause. But they end up going in the bank, and then hopefully the need of that cause runs out. The suggestion from these 3 charities in this article today suggests, well, research shows that it takes many, many years. So rather than spending all of the money now, you have to hold a bit to give a bit back in 6 months, in 12 months and in 18 months. If you're living in a caravan right now, do you want to wait 18 months for the money that's been donated by Australians? Or do you want that money now? Do you want that money to pay for a hotel room now? Do you want that money to pay for you to be able to rebuild your life now? I want Australians to keep giving money to charity because charity is important. But it is also important that charity does its bit and spends money that is donated for the specific purposes that it is sent. Unlike, as we showed you last year, the Red Cross spent $13 million on paying separate companies to make phone calls to drum up more donations. I repeat, the work of the charity sector is important, but you erode trust in charities when you don't spend the money that people give at the height of a disaster to take care of the people who are still living in a bloody tent.